Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video. And this one, we're off on a road trip. We're only going to Liverpool up the road. We're going to a family event tonight. And it's about 180 miles from here. And a new car has rocked up in the garage, which is almost the perfect car to take up. It's a new M5 Touring version, which I'm going to live with for the next 6 months. And it's a lovely spec. I love the green on it. It's got carbon ceramic brakes on it. It's even got the tow bar. So the perfect vehicle to cruise up the motorway, get to Liverpool, have lots of fun and drive home again. But no, I'm going to take the Shad because, yeah, last time this was on the videos, on the channel, was that trip into France. And it was a wonderful, wonderful trip. And you watched it in huge numbers. Thank you for that. But we had the issue with the wheel bearing, and we also had the issue with oil consumption. So since that trip, if you watch the year roundup, I've done quite a lot of work to it. I'm just going to open the bonnet. First of all was the wheel bearings. That was sort of straightforward, but they were right on their last legs. I'm extremely grateful it got us home. How it did, I don't know, but all the ball bearings sort of dropped out of the cage. One had been eaten, but it got us home. But the oil consumption, I had a debate about how to do it. What we thought we were going to replace pistons and liners, which is an engine out job, and this is a 6 1/4, not a 6 3/4, so the parts are a bit more expensive, la-di-da. And I thought, how much do I spend on this car? Do I actually want to do that? I could just chuck another engine in. There's so many scrapped Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, so you can find an engine for not a lot of money, about £2,500. Pop another one in, do that. But I wanted to keep it as a 6 1/4. This thing has always gone really well. So we just did a compression check on it, and compressions were all up on all 8 cylinders. So there was a suspicion whether it was actually piston rings or was it the valve guides. And they've got a funny little seal around them, and they give up as well. They get old, and quite often it's the oil going down, being breathed in as it's driving along, or just sitting at the top and leaks into the cylinder. So, long story short, we decided to do the valve seals, and you can actually do that with engine in situ. All the carburetors came off it, and then they get the piston to top dead centre, put an airline on it, and you're doing that to hold the valves up. You've got a machine, you always take the rocker cover off and things, and or the rocker mechanism, and then you can take the valve springs off because the air pressure inside the cylinder is holding the valves into the cylinder head. Replace the seal, reassemble, and there you go, you've got new seals. And I want to do a long journey in it to see if it still drinks oil. I've only done about 100 miles since doing it, but if I just, dip the dipstick, here we go. They always, you can see it's sort of above, above maximum. That is newish oil, promise. I'll just put that, I'll just check it again. I love that dipstick engine. There we are. Right, there is maximum, and we're about, a little bit, about a centimetre above maximum, because they always slightly overfill it, as I say, and it's cold at the moment, and it will go round. So the oil is good at the moment, right at the top. I might just hide this somewhere so I've got it for when we're up there and I can check it again. But yeah, all in, all that work was a fair bit of spend on it. Parts were £972. That was oil stem seals, £193. 8 new spark plugs as well, £133. 2 wheel bearing kits, they're £150, so it all adds up. So nearly £1,000 worth of parts and £2,184 labour. So all in all, with the VAT, £3,700. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. We're heading to Liverpool because that's actually why I bought a white Rolls Royce, because there was a farm up there, my first job, ex-school, and the owner of the farm had a building company and owned a white Rolls Royce. And that's why I've always loved white Rolls Royces. So we might drop by there and just go some of the haunts up there. But first of all, I'm going to fit it up with, this thing basically runs on the sustained fuel mainly. So I'm going to fill the tank on it and pack up, and then we'll be heading up to Liverpool. Just arriving in Liverpool. Yeah, just a motorway slog all the way up. and went on M6 toll that was stationary. I think there's a whole load of H2 construction going on, and we're 0.7 of a mile away from the hotel. And this takes me back. Sefton Street, this is along the docks of Liverpool, south of Liver Buildings. And when I was living up here, this was the area full of scrapyards, and they're all in the dock buildings. And used to come down with friends, and we were always looking for bits for, well, mainly his Escort Mark 1. Anything we could get. I had my dad's Citroen Diane 6, and he never saw one of those in the scrapyards. But Ford stuff, everything was down here, tyres, all sorts. Albert Dock was the big one, which is just up here. Oh look, there's the cathedral up there. Used to go there for Christmas Day. We'll probably go up there tomorrow. I want to do a little bit around Liverpool. But what I've learnt about Rolls Royce coming up here, I forgot. This car is just made for potholes. Just dismisses them. Just don't exist. And you just sort of cruise up. You've no idea what sort of revs you're doing. It just floats along on the motorway, floats along up into Liverpool. Anyway, the plan now, we're going to this party now, and at some point in the morning, you'll rejoin us, and I want to dip the oil dipstick. Well, I'm so excited to see if we have used oil or not. I ideally hope we haven't, but that's all for the morning, and there's lots of fun and merriment to have first, and so it might not be first thing in the morning. Let's see. Well, morning. Lots of fun last night. This hotel is really very cool. It's Titanic Hotel in Liverpool. It's right, it's new, well, I think it's been here a while. Hill Dickinson Stadium is just over there. It's right on the seafront in this sort of dockland area, and it's converted dock building, and it was the rum they used to import here. But yeah, really cool place, and yeah, good fun last night. Well, just something I love on this car. There's one key. Quite often cars in the 60s and 70s, you've got to have a multitude of keys for sort of glove boxes and boots and doors and ignition. On the Rolls Royce Silver Shadow, one key. Unfortunately, it doesn't have central locking. The other thing, if you're British, so it's very nice, if you just wander down here, you can see it's a Yale lock. And a Yale lock is sort of de facto, used to be what all your house key was as well. It's quite windy today, sorry if that you can hear that. But this is slightly the moment of truth, because I want to find out if it's used any oil. How many miles did we do yesterday? Did about 180 miles coming up, and I've done about 100. So it's done, yeah, 280 miles. I'm just going to open the other doors. Yeah, central locking would be nice. You didn't get that in 1970. But oil. Let's have a little look. Oh my goodness, look at that. Hallelujah. This car, basically, yeah, there's maximum, I can just see it. It's gone down about 2 mil in that mileage. This car no longer drinks oil. Hallelujah. And the wipers work. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, they mended all the wipers. Gosh, it's windy. What we're going to do now, put some fuel in. I just want to do a little bit of sightseeing around Liverpool. I was brought up here, and just go and see some of the sights from my past. My dad used to run the art school here, running fashion and textiles. I'm going to do a drive by that and some of the sights, and go through the tunnel, and then go and see where I first saw the white Rolls Royce over on the Wirral. But that's to come. First of all, let's go and put some fuel in. Around here, you see this, always gets me. If you look here, this car would like 100 octane fuel. 100 octane. That was 5-star back in the day in 1970. The best I can do, it's not very good, yeah, is BP Ultimate, because there isn't actually a Shell close by. But I might be here sometime. The reserve light isn't on, but it's got a very big tank, this car. This would be well over £100. I don't know if you can see, we're just sailing past £90. Price of fuel here, 169.9 a litre, because it's, yeah, I'm putting the super unleaded in. Yeah, there's £100. 101, 102. I reckon we'll be £120, something like that. Give the credit card a proper bashing. 130. Not often you go over £140 for fuel, but we are today. I've never done £150 for fuel. Is this the first time we're going to 150? Oh, not quite. There we go. 147. Excellent. Go and make the cashier's day. Hope he's on commission. It's an area of Liverpool I know well. Is the Anglican Cathedral is there. Just go there on Christmas Day. But my dad used to work at the art school just up here, and I haven't been back here for years. It's on Hope Street, and it's it's amazing art school. I had such fun there. Seeing my dad doing fashion shows. He's head of fashion and textiles here. We just swing around. Here we are. Here's the art school, and one of the guys at the art school, we just stopped by the door here. I think it's locked, we can't go inside, but was a student called John Lennon. He did graphic art, and my dad was there, and John Lennon came to see him one day. He said, is it possible, we're sort of looking at starting a band, to practice in the basement where there was sort of a canteen, because my mate who's over there, Paul McCartney, who was sort of college just across there, they were going to get together after hours, sort of 6 o'clock, and go and practice in the bass. And that was the start of the Beatles, in my dad's college in the basement. And it's this sort of crazy memorial here. Dad's office sort of overlooked here, and you look down out of his office to a very famous landmark in Liverpool, the Wigwam, the Catholic cathedral there. So yeah, many times I spent my youth down here, coming to the college and just doing fashion shows and stuff. And my dad used to take me to Paris Fashion Week and all sorts of things. So a very unusual upbringing, really. I only come from a farming background. But anyway, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to head over through the Mersey Tunnel, Birkenhead Tunnel I'm going to take, because it's the one I know best. And then we'll head over to where I first saw a white Rolls Royce on the first job I had working on a farm. This is the start of one of the Mersey tunnels. This is known as the Birkenhead Tunnel. This is the one that opened first. I think it's 1934. And so many memories coming up and down here. This was the way to Liverpool. And then in 1971, they opened the Wallasey Tunnel, which is part of the motorway. And this is the one I remember most as a kid. And what I can't get over when I look at it now, I used to do a lot of cycling and racing as well, and there was Kirby track nights on, I think it was a Wednesday night, and we used to cycle through this tunnel. And how was that allowed? But we used to bomb through, and what you don't realise is there's enormous extractor fans as you're driving through here to take all the exhaust fumes away. And there are amazing Art Deco towers on either side of the Mersey, and they're just hoovering up the air out of this tunnel. So it's like riding a bike in a sort of vacuum cleaner, and you just bomb through because there's no air resistance, and we used to absolutely fly through. It's sort of downhill and then uphill, and you just couldn't work out why you weren't struggling going up the uphill bit as much as you should be, because there was just basically no air resistance. You just like cycling this thing with a giant fan sucking you along. But yeah, it was a good job they opened the other tunnel, because you actually used to have queuing traffic in here. It was that busy if you came through here at rush hour. And I think on a bike it was like 2 pence, old pence as well, 2D. I haven't been through the tunnel for, well, decade, I should think, since I last went through here. But very much part of Liverpool and Birkenhead. Everybody sort of worked in Liverpool, went out in Liverpool, and everybody lived on the Wirral. So you used to commute through this tunnel. Lighting's got better. It used to get quite dark down here. Yeah, and now we're at the bottom. That's just gone through. We're now in Birkenhead, not Liverpool. Amazing achievements. 2 miles long, and it was the longest undersea tunnel in the world at time of building. And we've got 2 of them. sometimes at rush hour, you see up the front here, you've got these lights, you've got 2 green and 2 reds. They actually used to make it 3 lanes for everybody to rush back to the Wirral at 5:30, 6 o'clock. So you used to look up there and you get 3 lanes going to Birkenhead and just the 1 lane going to Liverpool. And it's actually got little branches. You can turn off for Wallasey Docks or Liverpool Docks. I don't know if they're still open though. Yeah, there you go. It used to go down there. It's closed, isn't it? Here we are. How much was that? Automatic. Exact. I can't do exact. How can I pay? Contactless? I suppose contactless. That's closed. Is that open? That's open. Oh, I'll go over there. There it is. Contactless. Well, it's been a fun morning. The last time you saw us, we were going through the Birkenhead tunnel and I went through a few old haunts and things. Where I was heading was this farm I worked on straight from school, waiting for my A-level results on the Wirral, and it was owned by Mr. Tyson, who had a huge construction company in Liverpool. And the reason I wanted to go there, which there's a story I've told before, but you might not have heard it, he had a white Rolls Royce, and I worked on this farm in the summer, and Mr. Tyson used to drop by the farm after finishing work in Liverpool, go and see what was going on. They bred cattle there, we had a milking herd, that sort of thing. And one time, I'd never seen a Rolls Royce up close and sort of regularly. Anybody who grows up in today cannot believe really what it was like in the 70s. You didn't have Google, you never saw flash cars, and you particularly didn't see them in Birkenhead, where I grew up. Anyway, Rolls Royce. And one day we used to milk there, used to bring the cows up 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and one of the cows had calved in the field, which is a bit of a no-no. We should have spotted it in the morning, put it in a box, calved it on the farm. It didn't. And Mr. Tyson said to me, can you come with me, get in the Rolls Royce, and we will go and fetch the calf. And I got in the Rolls Royce, we went down the fields, literally down the fields, and he opened the boot and I put a freshly calved, slightly wet calf in the boot of his Rolls Royce, and we drove back to the farm. And it's just an image that has always stayed with me, and I always thought one day I will own a white Rolls Royce, and that's the story behind having this. Nothing to do with weddings. Everybody thinks it's something to do with wedding. No, it was Mr. Tyson, his white Rolls Royce. And I've just visited the farm, took a photograph where Mr. Tyson used to park up. I didn't film there because it's a private house now. The farm is long gone, and Mr. Tyson died mid-90s or something. But this was in the 70s. So there you go. I've done all that, and we're now heading home. I love this road. We're going over Riffin, dropping down onto the A5, and then we'll go, if you know this area, Corwin, Llangollen, Shrewsbury, back home. Beautiful, just coming over the top. Beautiful view down the Riffin. There's the Riffin sitting in the bottom of the valley down there. A view I know very well, because again, back in early 70s, I can't believe it, my parents had a place in Wales, and I went to school on Saturdays, and after school I used to cycle to the cottage on this road, which I can't believe that in my head, but I did, 40 miles or so. Anyway, so yeah, we're heading home, and I am so chuffed that after all those mechanical bits, doing those valve guides, we no longer burn oil. I will drop in a shot now of what the dipstick looks like when we get home, which will be, I'll put the mileage up, would have been about 400 miles or so since we set off yesterday for this party in Liverpool. So yeah, it's been great to go trip out in the Silver Shadow. Yes, we could have taken the M5 touring, much more sensible choice, but there is something about this Rolls Royce that just gets under your skin, that you just float through the scenery. It is so effortless, so you have no idea revs or anything, you just glide it through in this incredibly riding car, really nicely damped. It's funny, I've forgotten how good it is on potholes. Light speed bumps don't exist. It doesn't matter what size pothole. so far anyway. While we're in Liverpool, we demonstrated one of the start turns of this Rolls Royce that came as a complete surprise, and that's its turning circle. I had to drop my daughter off at Lime Street Station in Liverpool, and they have a really tight place where you have to turn around, and this car can do it no problem at all, even though it's about 5 metres long. No four-wheel steer needed on this car, but a really nice way to scenery. The downside is the fuel consumption. You have to get used to 15, 16 mpg, but it has a big tank. But apart from that, it's such a relaxing way of travelling. And I hope you've enjoyed coming on this little trip up to Liverpool, just some of my old stamping ground from the past. I've really enjoyed this, and yeah, we're going off to have some lunch. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, well, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming on very soon. Thanks for watching.